Why is life so important if it ends anyway? Can anyone answer that question? Now, if you believe in the belief system of Christianity, you're going to turn around and say to me, life's very important, and it's important that you be a good boy and you go to heaven and you make it to heaven. So your so-called next life will be a life of never-ending life. Or if you be a bad boy and don't make it to heaven, you're going to hell, and your next life will be in a never-ending life of utter agony, etc. Now, I don't subscribe to that. You guys know that. I don't subscribe to that belief, because that's all it is. It's a belief system, and it's a belief system that's been taught to us. So back to the question. If life's so important, why does it end? Why does it end? Is it the case that we have many lives? And if that is the case, which I'm starting to think it is, are all those lives different? Completely different? Do we carry a little bit of our life into the next life and the next life and the next life and so on and so on? And why? And why would we? Why would we? Would that be because there's some kind of review, some kind of library of life somewhere in the universe, where at some stage in our many lives we get to check them out? Or is there some ruler up there or some council that analyses our lives, our many lives? But why would that be the case? Is there a higher point to put a higher message or point to all this? Or am I just wasting my words? Why am I asking this question? I'm asking this question because about 20 minutes ago, I was washing my hands in my bathroom after going to the toilet, and I was looking in the mirror for a few seconds, and it just come into my head. And I said to myself while I was looking at myself in the mirror, why is life so important if it ends anyway? And now I'm doing this video about it. So everything I'm saying is coming straight out of my braincraft, i.e. my mind, straight onto this audio. It's not being scripted. I haven't got notes. I'm just free-flowing it from my braincraft. If you hear a click and then hear me come back on, it's because I've run out of things to talk about the subject, and I've had to sit there and think of some more, and then I've pressed record again. But so far that hasn't happened, so don't worry about that. So, if we expel the Christianity belief scenario, which I have anyway, many months ago, what else does that leave us? Does it leave us reincarnation? Yeah, it possibly could. So therefore, if you subscribe to that belief system, and I don't know much about it, you'd have to conclude that, and this is from what I know about it, that it's important how you live your life, because that can affect your future lives. I.e., if you live a life, and I don't know if this is what they think, maybe I should have some research about it, but as I say, this whole video is off the cuff. This video's come straight out. This is a spontaneous, random, going with the moment, here and now video. So if you believe the reincarnation thing, you'd have to think, oh, gee, I've now forgotten what I was saying. So where was I about reincarnation? You'd have to think, well, why is that the case then? If the life you live now affects your next life. So if I live a bad life now, and then that affects my next life, and I still do bad in my next life, will that mean my next life or the life after that be even worse and worse in regard to what I come back as? So what is this about life? I think the birds are trying to tell me. Can you hear them? So what is this about life that is so important? Because it ends anyway. if you dispel the Christianity belief system, and if you dispel every religious belief system, that's all they are, belief systems. They're not fact. They're not reality. Because how can they be? They're not natural. They're not nature. It's an assumption. There are assumptions of what people think will happen. They're not real. Anyway, that's more what I think. So why is life so important if it ends anyway? Am I missing something here? I mean, I wish I could phone a friend on this one. Ask the audience. Where's that button? I haven't got it. I mean, if we live a good life, don't hurt anyone to the best of our ability, work hard, all that, pay our bills, work all our life, retire, see our grandchildren grow up, and have Sunday roasts and live to our 80s and then pass away of natural causes. Why is that so important? Does that make our life important, that we live like that? Or if we live our life a real prick of a person, murder people, say we're in and out of jail, or we're a mass lunatic, or we don't go to that extreme and we're just a real horrible person. We don't kill anyone, but we just treat people like shit our whole lives. And say die in our 60s or 70s or our 80s even. Does that mean our life is? Does that mean life is? That our life, does that mean anything? What is life? What is it all about? I tell you what it's all about. It's about dying. Because once you're born, you start to die. So therefore, maybe the answer is once we die, we're born. We become born again. Not in the Christian sense, but we have another life. But the whole point of this video is, what is so important about life if it ends? Okay, if it ends, which it does, we all know that. We all face that one day. When it ends, if we come into another life, what's so important about that one? So maybe the question is, how many lives do we have to have until whatever happens? What's the whatever? Is it we have so many experiences that we just have one more extra life that never ends? And that can be as important or as unimportant to us as whatever, because we've earned that last undiable life. What's life? Why is it so important if it ends? How many lives do we have to live for it to become unimportant? Will there ever be a stage, and these questions are obviously unanswerable, but I'm saying them anyway, will there ever be a stage where we just keep living all these new lives, and then one day, one life, they stop, and it's just total blackness and darkness, and that's the end of consciousness. There's nothing else. It's just blackness, and you don't know anything anymore because it's stopped, right? It's just black. It's just like watching a TV that's been turned off, and that's it. No audio, no visual, no sounds, no smells, no sense, just total blackness. Could you possibly call that a life? So, if the meaning of life is to have a real good experience of it, well, so be it. If the meaning of life is to transcend your consciousness that much and have so much fantastic experiences that you've lived such a great life and you've transcended your consciousness, why does it end? I mean, this is like the $1 trillion question, even more than that. This is a question no pastor or no priest or no expert can answer. This question's unanswerable, just like nature is, just like the universe is. It can't be governed over, for it is undefinable. But still, why is this life so important if it ends? How many lives do we have to live before there is no life at all? And could that even happen? So is life, or all these lives we have, is it just a means to an end? What's the answer? Some people maybe think this. I've fought it. I'll be honest, I've fought what I'm about to say to you. Some people might think it all the time. And that, I'm not saying I think it now, or that I've subscribed to it, this thought now, but it has entered my mind. And that is, if we go into another dimension or have another life after this one, what's so special about this one? Why should we do everything that we have to in this one? Why can't we just waste this one? Why can't we just live a boring life? Why can't we just live a lazy life and not experience fuck all? I've thought that. I've thought of that way as well. But then I snapped myself out of it. All the things one experiences in their life, and for some it's going to be more than others, do they come into our next life? And just say the Christian pipe dream is real, and we do go to heaven if we make it. Will all our experiences, all our good deeds from this life, that past life, will they have anything to do with our new life in heaven? So what is this life, if it ends anyway? Are the people we meet in our life, or our family, our parents, are they important in our next life? Or do we just never see them again? Is that it? Or do we see them again? Or do we see something that reminds us of them again in our next life, if we have a next life? And is a dimension and a life the same thing? Is having another life the same as going to another dimension? Because if you go into another dimension, you're going to be aware of it, right? Is that what people mean when they say, well, I've even said it myself, and I believe it, we go to another dimension. Our consciousness keeps going, it never stops. I firmly believe that. But then again, I'm starting to wonder. But again, I don't subscribe to the religious belief system, because that is a man-made belief system. It's not natural. Is this life we're living now natural? Of course it is. But why does it end? Who can answer this question? I bet there's lots of people with PhDs and with beards and that, and rich people that think they know the answer to this question. I'm just a layman. Maybe the answer is this. We have many lives, and they just don't stop, and we keep living, having different lives forever and ever and ever. And it's important to expand our consciousness and experience as much as we can during our experience of having all these lives that we maybe have. And maybe it becomes a stage where we live that many miraculous, amazing lives where we experience so much that at the end of all is said and done, we are rewarded with one massive life where we can do whatever we want for as long as we want forever. Maybe that's what it is. I suppose we will all find out, but then maybe we won't, because if we don't have a conscious remembrance of previous lives, how can we know that they may well be affecting our current life? I don't know. Where am I going here? You see what I mean? This thing is just so deep, so unknown. I won't say scary. I'd say I'm more excited about it than anything. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. I had to get it off my chest. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it stimulated your mind and got you thinking about why if this life is so important, why does it end?